Hi and welcome to my drone video channel. This 7-minute video is kind of highlights a winter shoot taken with my XK X380 UAV. It's kind of a home-built, thrown together UAV that we put together some 3 years ago or more. And I want to give a shout out to my fellow X380 flyer, DJ Soulforce of Soulforce Quads. He also hasn't given up on this somewhat quirky bird. You'll find out about the quirkiness a little bit later on. It's got a few quirks to it, but they're kind of easy to work through if you know what you're doing. We're going to spend most of the time looking at Wheeler Creek here. Wheeler Creek is a creek that drains into Lake Erie, and we're at the mouth here, and I'm turning back towards Wheeler Creek here as I'm flying along, just to get myself lined up here. The camera I'm using is a Gitup Git2 with a narrow lens, so that keeps the horizon nice and flat and level, no fisheye effect. So we're looking straight down the path that is Wheeler Creek as it's running. You can see the water closest to us is running freely, and in the distance there you can see a thin skin of ice over the top of the water itself. Now up to this point the quad has been handling pretty nicely. It's pretty stable, and we're just flying along here nice and slow, and taking in the creek, the water running out towards the river, and looking at the skin of the ice that's covering over the top of it. And then we got to this point and decided I'm going to drop down a little bit here and get closer to the water. And as soon as I did that, one of the quirks of the X380 shows itself, which is the toilet bowl effect. The toilet bowl effect is, if you know, the water in a toilet bowl swirls around in a sort of a clockwise direction. You can see what's happening right now with the quad. It's sort of going around in circles by itself. And you know, having had this UAV for like 3 years, I'm used to that now. You can see it's trying to push itself towards the shore and towards those trees, trying to commit suicide, but we stay on top of the controls and just yaw away from those trees and push it out back over the stream, and you know, there's no problem. You just have to, you know, be on top of it and not let it have its own way, and you can get some pretty decent video, as you can see here, the camera. And there's me in my Nanook of the North outfit. There was, you know, you can imagine how chilly it is here with all this ice and water and so on and so forth here. That is, everything is like 32 degrees at this point, or 0 Celsius if you prefer. But we're just going to take a little run here up towards the mouth of Wheeler Creek, and then look at a couple of huge chunks of ice that are like 6 or 8 feet thick, that you'll see over there on the right hand side. And again, you know, this here we're going back into a little bit of a swirl, but when that happens, you just you know, hang on to the sticks, give minuscule corrections, and you can keep it on a fairly steady path, and you know, there's no problem. You just have to, you know, stay on top of it. It's a little more work than let's say a DJI Phantom, where you can just point it and it'll go and stay on track. Here we're going over some really thick ice that's like 6 or 8 foot thick, and we're going to turn back around here and head back towards you know, towards where we took off. We weren't going to spend a whole lot of time out here, and one of the reasons was I didn't feel like fighting the controls for an extended amount of time. But we get back over here, and as you can see me there on the right hand side, and we're deciding to whether we want to landed along the shoreline here. You can see some of the water running over here, but as I was flying over the this area of rocks and everything, I decided, well, the way that it's flying and moving itself around, as you can see it doing again, I didn't want to take a chance of it coming down and flipping itself over on top of all these rocks. So I decided I'll just fly it up the pathway that I walked down to get down to this ersatz beach, and this is the pathway. It's kind of a steep slope, it's muddy and it's slippery, and it was a little bit tough walking up myself, but you know, I just kept my eye on the X380 and flew it up the pathway. You notice it stopped every once in a while. That's so that I could catch up to it while I was slipping and sliding coming up the slope. This is the parking lot, and you see my car there was just on the right hand side. And once we get to the parking lot, it's a nice flat area, and I know I can land it without any problems. Anyways, this is just a little fun shoot. I wanted to let DJ and everybody know that I'm still using one of the first UAVs that I ever owned and put together myself, and it still flies, and I used it on shoots during the year several times. So thanks for stopping by and watching. There goes the mailed person, and stop back again, leave a comment, and I hope you enjoyed this fun type shoot.